Hello students, welcome to your science class. So students, in the previous class, we were talking about that of the corrosion. We have seen that there are different methods which are used to show the corrosion. What is the corrosion, student? Corrosion is the eating up of the upper surface of that of the metal or that of the metal due to the action of moisture, due to the action of air or any chemical. We have seen that the corrosion occur in case of iron, and the corrosion of iron we call it or we use in another name for it, that is called as rusting. Then corrosion of silver also happens, and the corrosion of silver occur as a gas is there present in the atmosphere which is called as hydrogen sulfide gas. This hydrogen sulfide gas reacts with silver and finally it will form silver sulfide, which we can say that it tarnishes the color of a silver. That we call as the corrosion of silver. Then copper is there, student, and this copper it reacts with the carbon dioxide gas present in the atmosphere, and the carbon dioxide not only reacts with the copper, but the moisture and the oxygen present also react with the copper and form copper hydroxide and copper carbonate, which is a kind of a green coating present on the copper, that we call as the corrosion of copper. We have seen the aluminium also react with with that of the oxygen, and aluminium oxide is formed. So that is the corrosion happens in case of aluminium. So we have seen the different methods or different ways by which the metals get corroded. Later on, students, we have started to understand that how we can prevent corrosion, because it is important to maintain the purity of the metal, and this we can prevent it by preventing the causes of the corrosion. Okay, and how can we prevent the corrosion? So we have already seen one of the method by which we can prevent it. Let us see the other one. So, preventing corrosion. Methods for preventing corrosion. Methods of preventing corrosion. So the first method that we have seen, student, it is by applying the paint or grease or oil. So this is a kind of a surface which we are creating on that of the layer of the metal, and due to which it do not come in a contact with the oxygen directly, and finally no oxide formation will happen or no corrosion will occur because of that. So use of paint or varnishes or use of oil or a grease, that will be a much better one to prevent the corrosion, student. The second one is making alloys of the metal. So making alloys of the metal with other metal or non-metals. With other metal or non-metals which are corrosion resistant. We will discuss about the alloys, students, later on. But alloys, yes, there are methods that we can adopt, in which we will mix that of the metal with other metal or with that of a non-metal, and these particular metal or that of the non-metal, it helps in preventing the corrosion, since they themselves are very resistant to corrosion or by the attack of the other metal, students. Okay, so basically these metals or these non-metals, they are already or they themselves are corrosion resistant, and that is why we use them. For example, student, you have heard about steel or brass or stainless steel. They are what? They are actually the combination of two metal or a metal or a non-metal together. And this will help in preventing the attack of any gas that can causes the corrosion, or that will corrode the surface of the metal, students. So basically we used to make alloys that will help in giving resistance to the corrosion. Next method is galvanization. What happened in a galvanization? Let us write something about galvanization. So here, covering the surface of a metal object, covering the surface of the metal object, surface of the metal object, covering the surface of the metal object with a layer of a corrosion resistant material. Corrosion resistant material. Basically what happened here, iron, the body of iron or iron metal, it is covered by molten zinc, that is called galvanization. So we can write it, that is, iron objects are covered, iron objects are covered with the layer of molten zinc. Molten zinc to prevent the corrosion. To prevent corrosion. And this process is called as galvanization. This is called galvanization. So you see, students, in the previous one we had seen that we used to make alloys, and alloy will help in we used to mix the two metals, or a metal or a non-metal together in order to prevent the corrosion. Same thing we will do with here also. Here, instead of a mixing, what we used to do, we used to cover the surface of the metal with the other metal, which is also a resistant corrosion, or resistance to that of the corrosion. Basically what happened in the galvanization process, in which the iron object is used, you know that the rusting of an iron we have heard about, in which it reacts with the oxygen, and finally due to which there is a formation of a red brown flaky substance on that of an iron. It makes the iron object weak. So basically we will say that is the rust only, students. So in order to prevent rusting of the iron, we use the galvanization process, in which the iron object is covered with a layer of a molten zinc. Since zinc is not reactive, or it is the very least reactive or unreactive to that of the oxygen present in the atmosphere, or the moisture present in the atmosphere, ultimately that will help in removing, that will help in preventing the corrosion. So what will happen if a layer of iron is there and we had covered it with that of a molten zinc? So zinc which is present on the upper surface will not going to react with the oxygen, and there will be no direct contact will be there between that of the iron, because there is a layer of a zinc present on it. So ultimately the iron will not come in contact with the oxygen, and that will help in preventing the corrosion, student. Okay. Okay, so this is another method by which we can prevent the corrosion occur in the metal, student. Moving on, and we will see the another method by which we can prevent corrosion. So another method is there, and that is called as electroplating. Electroplating. So electroplating the metal object, electroplating the metal object by a layer of another metal. By a layer of another metal. For example, here iron object can be electroplated. Iron object can be electroplated with a layer of a tin, with a layer of a tin, which is also called as tin plating. Okay, so we called it as tin plating to prevent the rusting. So student, electroplating is also another kind of a method by which we can simply, you can see here that. So here we have done that we are actually again making a layer of another metal on a metal, and this time we are using electricity. When we passes the electricity in on a metal, then what will happen? Another metal we can make or we can coat another layer of a metal on that of the particular metal which we want to prevent, or in which we want to prevent the corrosion. Here we used to take that of the metal in a molten state, which is corrosion resistant again. Basically, in this, students, what we used to do, we used to take the iron. Like suppose we want to prevent the corrosion in case of iron by the method of electroplating. So we take an iron, and this will be electroplated with a layer of a tin in order to prevent rusting. So this is a method by which we can prevent rusting in case of iron. So these are some of the methods, students, by which we are able to prevent the corrosion in these metals. Now here we have seen that there are a lot of different methods, and one thing which is common, that ultimately the thing are the same, in which we are actually making a layer on the surface of the metal so that it will not come in direct contact with oxygen. You see, either if you are using oil or a paint or a varnishes or a grease, anything on the surface, ultimately that will help in preventing the connection of that particular metal with that of the oxygen. So we are actually making a layer. Other cases also, student, if we take an example of a alloy, or if we making of alloy or galvanization process or electroplating process, in all the process we have seen that we are actually covering that particular metal with another metal. So ultimately we are making the same thing, that we are covering the layer of the metal by another metal which is a corrosion resistant. Although the processes are different, because here in the process of galvanization is different, process of alloy is different, and alloy making is different, and process of electroplating is different. But one thing that is common here, that we are actually making a layer on the surface of the metal which can be corroded, and we are covering that particular metal with the layer of another metal which is corrosion resistant. So these are the different methods by which we can prevent the corrosion, student. Methods of preventing corrosion. So before understanding this, we had already understood everything about the metal and non-metal, that what are the metals, what are non-metal, what are its physical properties, chemical properties of metal and non-metal. Now let us see that what are the uses of the metals. There are different types of metals. So let us see that what are the different uses. Now you see, students, we are already aware of the properties. So properties will tell many things about the use, because whatever will be the properties, that will also decide its use. Like suppose if something is hard, like metals are hard, so they are used for the construction purpose. So why they are using for that? Because of its properties. So properties help us in informing a lot of things. Let us try to understand each of them one by one. So we will start with the uses of metals. Uses of metals, students. Okay. Okay. So the first one is iron. Iron. So iron is used for many things. You know that the iron is what? Having a very high tensile strength. It is quite hard. So it is used for making it's used in making houses. It is used for making dams or bridges because of its strength. Okay, since it is very strong, so that's why it is used for these purpose. So we can say that iron is used in making sheets, and bars, making sheets and bars, which are used in construction, of bridges, and buildings. Iron is also used in manufacturing machine parts. It is also used in manufacturing machine parts. Manufacturing machine parts. And utensils. You see, students, iron, it is used in making sheets. So we all are knowing that metals are what? Basically they shows the malleability, and they shows the ductility also. So being malleable, being ductile, they can be drawn into sheets, and because of that only you can see that they are used in the form of a sheet, as well as you all have heard about iron bar. So this iron bar, these sheets are also used in construction purpose. They are used for making houses. They are used for making bridges. They are also used for making the different buildings. So because of the property of a malleability and ductility, iron is used for making sheets and bars. You see, there are different machines are there, and all the machines, their parts are made up of iron. And the reason is because of its strength. Okay, so we can say that it is also used for manufacturing the machine parts. There are a lot of different utensils are there that are also made up of iron. So we can say here that machine parts as well as utensils, they are also made up of iron. So these are for students, these are the different uses. Although there are a lot, but the common one is this one. Now let us move on and see the another metal. And this time we will look after aluminium, which is supposed to be the third most abundant metal present in the earth crust, or obtained in the earth crust. Okay, now aluminium. Second one is aluminium. Now let us see what are the different uses of aluminium. So aluminium is used in making electric wire. It is used in making electric wires, utensils, bodies of aircraft and automobiles, bodies of aircraft and automobiles, metallic paint, metallic paints, and aluminium foil, and aluminium foil. So aluminium is used in making electric wires. It is also used in making utensils, bodies of aircrafts and automobiles, as well as it is also used in making metallic paint and aluminium foil. You know that, student, due to the property, again I am telling you that it is having the property of a ductility. We know that the property of a ductility itself explains that it can be, metals can be drawn into thin wires. So aluminium is used in making wire. You see, all the different electric wires that we use is made up of aluminium. Your question arises, why is it so? The reason is, since the aluminium is available in a great amount on the earth crust, so that's why it is cheap. And also it is a very good conductor of heat and electricity. So since being a good conductor of heat and electricity, it is used for making the electric wire. Good conductor of electricity. You will say that silver is also a best conductor, so why we are not preferring the silver and that of the aluminium? Obviously, silver is it is costly, it is not cheap. So that's why we used to prefer the aluminium. Being a good conductor of electricity, it can be replaced by the silver. So we can say here that it is used in making electric wires as well as utensils. So this helps in telling that they are the good conductor of electricity as well as good conductor of heat. Being a good conductor of a heat, help it in making the utensils. That's why it is used for cooking purpose, because it will provide a path for the heat to travel. Okay, so we can say here that it is used for making the utensils. It is also used for making the aircraft and the bodies of the aircraft and automobiles. Again, because of its hardness property as well as because of the ductility and malleability property, it is used for that. Aluminium foil itself explains that how malleable it is, means it can be drawn into thin sheets. So it can be drawn into thin sheets in such a way, means it can be drawn very thin one, in which we can say that the thin sheets, that is called as a thin foil of the aluminium, can also be obtained from it. So we can say that because of that, it is also used for the making the aluminium foil. Metallic paints are there, students, and these metallic paints consisting of aluminium. So you can see here that there are a lot of different uses of aluminium is there. Moving on, and we will see the next one. And next one is also very important, and that is of copper. Copper. Copper is used to make electric wire. To make electric wires and cables as well as in making statues and utensils. Copper is used to make electric wires and cables, statues as well as utensils. You can see here, students, that copper is also a kind of a metal which is used. It is used in making the electric wire. You all have heard about the copper wire, which is used for binding one. That being a good conductor of electricity, because of that it is used for making the electric wire. So electric wire, again like that of aluminium, will help us in telling its property that it is a good conductor of electricity, as well as it shows the properties of a ductility, and because of that copper is used for making the electric wire. As well as utensils, so this tells that copper is also a good conductor of a heat. So it is a good conductor of electricity as well as a good conductor of a heat. You see, you have heard about that it is also used for making cable, students. That shows the property of a ductility again. Statues, a lot of statues are there which is used for, which is made up of that of a copper. Copper is having the lustrous property, students. So you can understand that being luster, that's why it is used in making the statues. Okay. You are knowing that there are a lot of a benefit of using the copper utensils. So this is what, these are some of the uses of a copper. Let us see the next one, and that is chromium and nickel. So chromium and nickel are used for, electroplating. So nickel and chromium, they are used for electroplating. Means they also help in preventing the corrosion. So we can say here that they are a very good for the making the alloys especially. Okay. So basically chromium and nickel is used to form a layer and ultimate on the metal and on the iron, and ultimately that will help in making the stainless steel. So you all have heard about stainless steel, and this will be made up by the layer which is formed by the chromium and nickel. This layer is formed on that of the metal by the process of the electroplating. So with the help of a process of electroplating, we used to make alloy, and that is resistant to corrosion. Okay, now see. So chromium and nickel, they are used for making that of the electroplating, students. Okay, now we have seen that there are lot of metals are there because of its property of lustrous. They possess luster. They are having the shiny appearance. Because of that, they are also used for making the jewelries. You know that we know gold and silver is there. That is a platinum that are having a property of a luster, and because of that they are used for making jewelry. So this is another property of the metal, students, that because of its lustrous property they are used for making jewelries. Okay, so we can write it, that is silver and gold. Silver and gold are used to make jewelries, as well as coins. So we all have heard about silver coin or gold coins. So they are basically made up of silver and gold. Here we can use the another kind of a metal, student, that is platinum. So platinum is also a kind of a metal which is used for making jewelry, and the reason for all this, that since they possess luster, they are lustrous, because of that we used to use this metal for making the jewelry. So this is also a kind of a metal which is used for making jewelry, and it occurs because of its property, student. Okay.